Welcome back to the Lounge by Travefy. I'm Stephanie McCracken, and today we're tackling a big question. Are conferences actually worth it? And how do you choose the ones that truly grow your business? Because with so many events competing for your time and budget, it's easy to feel stretched thin. So in this episode, we're breaking down who sees the biggest ROI from conferences, when it might not make sense to attend, and how to be strategic about the ones you choose. So today, I'm joined by Stephanie McCracken, Director of Marketing, and Kelley Wright, Travel Agent Recruitment of the Travel Show Marketing Group. They are the leaders behind the annual conference Travel Agent Forum, and they're here to give us an inside look at how advisors can approach conferences with intention, not just excitement. So welcome to the lounge to you both. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I know. And it's like our which we'll talk about here in a little bit about Vegas, but this is like our fun Vegas time, which stay tuned. Keep that everyone in the back of your head. We'll talk more about that. But I know we have some really great questions to cover. So I want to start with the first big one. Now, in today's world of webinars, virtual summits, and on-demand learning, do live conferences still matter? And I know that might sound like an obvious question, but for many advisors, especially those newer to the industry, it can feel like a big investment. So I'd love to hear from you both. Why do you believe they do still matter?
I mean, I 100% believe that they still matter. I'm actually, in addition to my Travel Show Marketing Group role, I'm a travel agent too. So I'll probably reference that a lot. But from my experience, I've been an agent since 2017, and the first event that I went to was in Miami that year. I was really, really nervous to go, but it's helped my business in so many different ways, from getting there, branching out and talking to people and everything else, but it was 100% worth it. When you're sitting at your computer and taking a webinar, you're going to be on your email or on Facebook or answering text messages. No one's making sure that you're paying attention. When you're live and in person, you're going to have the people that you're going to talk to, the suppliers, the agents. It's just a whole different world that you're coming to. And as far as all that stuff goes too, like, you're going to put your phone away while you're sitting in a meeting room. Well, at least hopefully you will. And you're going to really pay attention and be able to expand your business.
Yeah, and I agree with Kelley. At Travel Show Marketing Group, it's what we do. So of course we feel like these live events matter. But on top of it, the favorite things that I hear about on site and after the fact on surveys is just the feedback we get from people who have attended and what they've learned and how much it's made a difference. And that's what really makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I have to agree too. That's definitely the big thing, is it's very easy. And this is coming from someone who does webinars all the time, and I love them. And even I have found myself, when I join a webinar, I'm not paying attention sometimes, and I'm like, oh great, this is probably what people do to me too. And so it's very easy though for that to happen. And when you're inspired and immersed in the actual room, it's so different. So I totally get that. And from your perspective, who do you think actually sees the biggest ROI from attending in person? But also the flip side of that, when might it not make sense to go? Because there's just so many conferences to choose from.
There are so many to choose from. So I think that person that goes in with a plan. So before you go to an event, you have to have a plan of what you're going to do while you're there. I've been to so many different events as an agent and also with the Travel Show Marketing Group team, that I think that when you get there, if you just show up and you don't have a plan first, then that is not going to help you at all. Like, you might as well just come home, put everything in a drawer, and, well, why did I even go in the first place? If you go there, you have a plan, you have goals in place and things to do and what you're going to do and accomplish while you're there, as well as when you get back, then that is really where that return on investment comes into play. We had one advisor actually that said recently, when we were asking on a survey some questions, and their response was, you can sleep when you get home. Take advantage of everything that is offered at the event and sleep when you get back. And I'm one that loves my sleep, but I think that that's so true, right? Like, there's so many different things to do at some of these events and so many things that you can. If you don't take advantage of them all, the only person you're hurting is yourself. And in the long run, also your clients. Like, you got to do this.
Totally agree. I think you get out of it what you put in. And as long as you know what you're trying to do and you have a true business goal set, you're gonna do a great job and make it work for you.
That That's a great one too. You can sleep when you get home. I have a couple questions actually on that later on about how do we keep ourselves like not burning out. And that's a great mantra to have. So throw that one in as a tip. But I'm curious too, have either of you, or maybe like Kelley, it's happened to you, is have you ever seen an advisor completely transform their business after attending the right event for them?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I think me in general, like that's kind of what happened with me. So I started in 2017, wasn't sure if this was really what I wanted. I was in the finance industry. I went to my first event actually with Travel Show Marketing Group in Miami at the time. And I was that person that before I went, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know anybody, all those things. And I got there and it really inspired me to want to do this, to want to take on this business and to do it full time. I started doing it full time a year later. And it was just listening to people on the panels talk and all of those things. It really gave me that inspiration. And, it's one thing too, is when you're listening to different advisors and you're talking to them while you're there, you're hearing their stories and they're wanting to share those things with you. I think that with like the travel industry, there's just such a special bond with people once they get to a place like that, right? Like you're talking to people, they're telling you things that they do. And it's just like you get that inspiration while you're there. I've had, times that I've showed up and I haven't thought that some conferences have been worth it for me, but also times that I get there, I take notes and I walk away with a plan.
And from my perspective, I'm there in the trenches throughout the event, and agents are seeing me running around taking photos and taking video and everything. And they always will stop me during breaks and tell me some amazing stories about what it's made a difference, whether it's the Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum or our European focused event. They have nothing but amazing things to say. So I do know that these events can really make a difference in your business.
And I
Yeah.
also, sorry to add on to that too. We had an agent at Owners this year. And while she was there, she had a client beforehand that she was trying to set something up for. She couldn't hear back from a supplier that she was trying to work with. While she was there, she met a new supplier and ended up walking away during that trip, booking a group for the client that was interested in going away with that particular supplier. So it's like everything got done while she was there. She was able to get those deposits in some before break time or whatever it was. But that really helped her. It helped her sell quite a large group from what I remember.
Whoa, that's awesome. And that makes so much sense actually too, because that's what I always think about too, is you are here in the spot with all these suppliers, other advisors. I mean, you've got everything from the industry just collaborating as one. And I think too, what you said earlier, Kelley, is so accurate that this industry is just great for that. We just naturally we're like that. So that's like the really cool thing. And I love this. I'm sold. These all the conferences, finding the right one. But I do want to talk about that, is choosing the right one, because I know you mentioned too, and I'm sure a lot of people can attest to this, that you maybe went to one, you're like, oh, that's not what I just didn't, that wasn't as, what I thought or anything. So if an advisor only has budget for one event a year, how should they decide what that event should be?
So I think that for this, it really depends on where they are in their business. If they're brand new, then you're going to want to go to an event that has a lot of suppliers, a lot of education going on. Something like the Travel Agent Forum in Vegas, you have 350 suppliers, education, so many different options for education and networking with agents as well as suppliers going on there. If you're an agent that's been around for a long time, yes, Vegas is great because of that education piece. And there's so many people there, but there's also other events that are out there that you can attend. If you're a destination wedding specialist, the Romance Forum is perfect for you. So you have to think about what your niche is and what you want to get out of it. And also with our events for Travel Show Marketing Group, you're going to have the opportunity of being hosted also in some cases. So for Las Vegas, there's the ability that you're paying to attend, or there's an option for agents that are, been around for a while and have that experience to be part of the Travel Agent Select program. Our other events are all hosted events, meaning, which I think I've learned recently that a lot of people don't know what that means. And when we say hosted, we mean that you're getting the event paid for you. So you're showing up, you're not paying for your hotel, you're not paying for the event. You have to pay for your airfare. In some case, maybe you get a little bit of that covered, but you're filling out an application ahead of time. So with that being said, you might be able to afford then budgeting for an event that you're only paying for airfare for and another event that year and spreading things out too. But it's really all about what your niche is and what's important to you.
Agree 100%.
I know, said so well. I'm glad that you clarified the host because I didn't even know. I didn't think about that. That's fantastic. So that's a great thing to know is available. It's almost like your FAMs, but for conferences where you're getting hosted in. So that's amazing.
And so that we have like several different ones throughout the year too. So there are some that we call amazing destination experiences. And those ones are more of like a fam type of situation in some cases. There are kind of range from like 8 agents to 30 or 40, where other events are more like full events with the education and stuff going on. So it all really depends. And then it's funny that you say that with the hosted part, because I just recently found out a lot of people don't know about that, because I've been doing calls with agents and giving tips on how to fill out an application. And that has been something that I thought was like, oh, no one will want to listen to me, to being like people emailing me afterwards saying, thank you so much. I had no idea half of these things that you're suggesting. So,
Nice. That is
mhm.
awesome. Yeah, I didn't really realize that either. So that's really cool. I love that. And I want to ask too about since you both are involved with building Travel Agent Forum, the one thing that I love about Travel Agent Forum is I always tell everyone this, whether you're new, you're veteran, there's kind of something for you. It really covers a lot of ground. So, how do you both think about designing something that serves advisors at different stages when it comes to conferences like that one, like Travel Agent Forum?
I'll just speak first, but it really comes down to we rely heavily on the surveys and feedback we receive on site to drive what we do for the next year. So we're combing through those surveys, looking at who they're recommending, who they think is missing supplier wise, who they'd like to see speak, what topics they'd like us to focus on. We take that feedback and and of course it's a balancing act between the venue and the pricing and our partnerships and everything in between. But that's what we spend the whole year working towards and building up to that next year event, making it the best one yet and doing what we need to do, taking into account the newest trends, what people like AI, big trend. Obviously, everybody's trying to figure out what to do, how to do it. And that's always going to be something we try to incorporate and then maybe phase something out, phase something in as needed based on that feedback.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that for me as an agent myself, I think that that's just like something I absolutely love, right? Like I really enjoy helping that brand new agent and also hearing about that experience with the agents that have been around a long time. But from both aspects, there's just so much for them to learn and for them to grow their business. And I just think it's really fun to have those conversations and see what they're interested in. And myself being able to take advantage of some of that's great too.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love that. And see, and that is a good thing to ask too if you're listening and you're thinking of those conferences, like how long have they been doing this? Are they changing? They do their feedback, it's that's a big thing to look for. So that's really cool. And I want to talk a little bit more too about how to maximize the ROI for attendees, which one, I'd say that is one, is do your research, check it out. But if someone does decide and they're like, I'm going, this is my first one, I'm super excited, what do you think advisors should do before they arrive? What would you say they need to do?
So this question actually has come up a lot lately with different things that I've done. And I 100%, my advice for this is to set goals before you leave, right? So you need to understand the event that you're attending. You need to know what suppliers are going to be there, who you want to meet with, what sessions you're going to go to, and research so you have questions to ask for when you get there. So if you're for the Travel Agent Forum event in Vegas, if you're going onto a supplier, like to a trade show floor with 350 suppliers on it ahead of time, go ahead and walk through who's going to be there and who you're interested in talking to. But also, as far as that stuff goes, know what sessions you're going to and what your goals are. So I personally recently started doing this within the last couple of years. I'm a big procrastinator. So if I don't do something and have a plan, then I'm going to go home and it's going to be in my drawer afterwards. But with this case, if I go and I set 3 goals ahead of time, make notes on my phone and set alerts even on my phone to say, hey, are you doing this? Then while I'm there, I'll make sure I'm staying on task. And when I get back, I'll make sure I do it too. So for me to be able to get that is one, do the work ahead of time, make sure that you're ready to go. When you get there, take that work that you've done and make sure that you put it into practice and that you're doing it. And then when you get back, follow up That is the biggest thing. These suppliers want to talk to you. That's why they're there, right? So they're there because they want to talk to you. They're not going to be annoyed that you're emailing them when you get back. So if you've had a conversation with someone and it was their child's birthday when they got home, send an email. Hey, how was John's birthday? I hope you had a great time. It was wonderful to meet you. I'd love to set up a follow-up call. It's 100% what these people are doing. That's what they want.
I can attest as a supplier, that's our ROI as well, is to meet all of you and connect and keep the conversation going. So great tip. Oh yeah, sorry, Stephanie, did you have one to add in there?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I love when Kelley talks about setting goals for these events, because having a goal means you're going to have a plan of attack, and there's not going to be anything more overwhelming than if you walk into that trade show floor for the first time and you don't know who you want to talk to, or you don't know what aisle you want to go to or anything like that. And just a little bit of research beforehand can make it a lot easier and a lot less stressful.
Yes, that's actually very true. And actually, this leads me really well into the next question because, especially Travel Agent Forum, it's huge. It's very, very large. And so I told you this question was coming earlier: is how do you avoid conference burnout? Because it can be so overwhelming. Like one, when you do enter, I think though, if you follow Kelley's plan and you have a plan in place, this will help with that. But how do you have any other tips for avoiding that conference burnout? And but I do like one, have the mantra of it's you can sleep when you get home. But what else would you provide?
I think that depends on the person, right? So there are some people that are out there that can be go, go, go all the time. And they're not going to be like to have seen too many people or talk too much while they're there. But then you're going to have those other people that really need that me time while they're there. So make sure that you schedule it ahead of time and figure it out, right? So if you have a break, it's okay to walk away. You don't need to sit there and talk to people the entire time. If there's a 15-minute break, go and people watch or do something on your own. Grab a drink, like a soda or something, whatever you want. But but don't
Drink, Kelley said. And especially if you're in Vegas,
all I
working
can
hard.
think of is Kim Putin right now being like, Kelley, don't go drink vodka.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, Kelley, that's how you stay sustainable at these conferences. Makes sense.
Oh my goodness. All right.
It's great.
Yes.
Here, I will
Actually,
piggyback on that and save Kelley. I think to take sanity breaks is a big thing. Like everybody has their own amount that they can handle of social interaction. So just be cognizant of know yourself. And if your goal for that event is to meet suppliers and you don't really necessarily need to meet more agents for any reason whatsoever, you could kind of sit back at the back of a session and take your notes and then be ready to engage with suppliers on the trade show floor. Or the opposite. If you really want to focus on meeting travel agents, kind of sit in a group of people that seem to be interacting with each other, talk with them, network with them, and then, you can pull back a little bit on the trade show floor and not be so, gung ho meeting every supplier, or just find that balance in between, because it's going to be both of it. You're going to want to meet travel agents to network, and you're going to want to meet suppliers. It's just knowing yourself and figuring out what's going to work for you.
I was going to say, I think that like that burnout for conferences can be thought of in two different ways too. It can be thought of like while you're there, that burnout. But then there's agents out there that go from like one event to another. And to me, that's where the burnout really is, right? So you want to make sure that when you're scheduling things for yourself, that you're scheduling things that make sense so you can follow up and do everything you want to when you get home. If you're going from one thing to another, then that is where you're going to end up getting burnt out and just not be able to do it.
yeah. But I kind of want to flip that into a question here is what would you say networking looks like if there's somebody who is maybe more introverted? Because I think that is a lot of things that, I mean, if I were a single advisor going on my own, new to the industry, it would feel extremely daunting just entering a space like this. And especially if you're more introverted. So what are some strategic networking tips that you can give people that kind of pulls that pressure off and eases their mind?
So I'll say that that was me in 2017. So I don't know if I'm as much of an introvert as I was then, but I am that person that does not want to go someplace before I leave my house, right? And then I get there and I get warmed up and I'm okay that I'm there. But in the case of that, it was just like that nervous feeling, right? So you're walking into an area that you don't know anyone. But I think that that's too why you need that plan ahead of time, and you need someone to tell you that you need it, right? So if you're a brand new agent, never been to an event before, hearing what is going to go on while you're there and understanding the whole process is so important. And I mean, if there's anybody that has questions on that, I'm always happy to answer them, especially because I've been through it, right? But once you get there and you start talking to people, that brings us back to the whole fact that this industry, everybody is really so nice and everybody just wants people to succeed. You're going to get there. You're going to sometimes see like, the same exact person in a couple different sessions. And then you're like, oh, wait, I've seen you in these different sessions. Maybe we have something in common. How long have you been an agent for? What's your niche? What are you trying to do? Like things like that. And I think that that's kind of where that builds. And then I've personally experienced the fact that when that happens, those are people that I'm still friends with, that I'll text on the side and ask a question to. So it's nice and it 100% works that way. And I'll say the same thing with suppliers, right? Like sometimes you don't know who a supplier is and who's an agent when you're at some of the different nighttime events, like if they don't have their name tags on or whatever else. But you can, have a supplier that you're speaking to, and the same thing, like you can hit it off with them and have a great conversation. It's just really trying to put yourself out there, even though you might not want to. It's really important to do that.
Actually, just what I was going to say. I was going to say sometimes you just have to push yourself outside of that comfort zone, no matter how uncomfortable it is. If it's 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, maybe that's part of your goals. Like if you're a quiet, reserved person, maybe say, I'm going to reach out to 5 people at this event, supplier or agent, whether it's your kindred spirit that you found in sessions that you keep following around to, or if it's just like another friendlier extrovert who's out in the hallways talking, she's a safe person to come up and talk to. Just push yourself and it'll make a difference.
It really does. And that's really cool too, that I've heard that too. And I even personally have where, I started, especially as a supplier, we see a lot of the same people at these conferences because we all are going to them. And it is so cool, the relationships you start to build and even just the people. I mean, it's just so amazing and really cool. And speaking of, I think this is a perfect time to talk about a conference that we at Travefy are doing with Travel Agent Forum in May at the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas. And it is called Travefy Live. And the point of this is everything that we've been saying, where it's the opportunity to network, to grow, to be one as a community together. And we just know, I know as we've been talking, being in person just hits so differently. And we actually used to host an event the day before Travel Agent Forum in years past, and it was called Agent Accelerator. So if any of you joined us, it was really cool. And in that time, we focused on building sales and marketing tactics. It was like a 4-hour, time that we all got together. But this year we're leveling up and I'm so excited because we're taking almost a whole entire day on May 11th and focusing it not only on those important educational content like we did before, but we're adding in layers of how to implement and use Travefy's tools also. So this is actually like a Travefy user conference. That's what it is. And it is this one's completely free. Our Travefy Live, completely free, because again, we want to provide this amazing chance to connect one-on-one in person and meet other Travefy users, network, just allowing you to immerse yourself in learning to grow your business and provide your clients with the best experience possible using tools like Travefy. And I also want to say you don't have to be a Travefy user to attend this because it'll be helpful for all. But I will leave the link to learn more and register in the show notes. You can find those. But I will say it is kind of a first come, first serve. Seats are limited. So be sure, reserve your spot if you're able to come, book your flights if you need, and see us there. That date is May 12th. But then after May 12th, Travefy Live will be done. And then the next day is Travel Agent Forum begins. So that one you also don't want to miss. So Stephanie and Kelley, can you share a little bit more about Travel Agent Forum with our listeners? Because if you're coming to Travefy Live, you might as well stick around for Travel Agent Forum as well and just keep the fun going.
Yeah, definitely. The Las Vegas Travel Agent Forum is our biggest event. It's our flagship event. It's upwards of 1,000 travel agents, travel professionals, 350 global suppliers. There's the educational session, which we kept talking about, the trade show floor. There's a networking lunch. There's lots of networking opportunities inside and outside. It's just a great place to learn so much and network all under one roof.
100%. I'm actually going to say that I'm so excited for the Travefy stuff because I am a Travefy user myself. And at a Las Vegas travel agent forum a few years ago, I think it was 2021-ish, might be what led me to sign up for that, maybe a little bit after that. I forget when it was, but that was one of those things, you come to an event, you meet people and everything else. And then a few months later, when I got home, I was like, yes, this is what I want. I forget exactly when that was, but yeah. And I love Travefy. I mean, with all the changes that have come, I'm so excited to be able to watch that and sneak away, hopefully, to listen.
Oh yeah, so that's the thing that's really great. So I'm burying some really awesome details, but go check it out on the landing page. But it will be a great opportunity where we can share not only what has been released over the past like 2 years, because so much was released that I'm sure Kelley, you can attest to this. Is a lot of people are always like, I know that all this stuff is there, but I haven't had the time to dedicate and learn it and see that. So this is a great opportunity for that. We'll also share new stuff, which is exciting. That's really cool. But also, you're meeting us at Travefy team members one on one. So it's going to be the opportunity where we can do trainings, we can chat with you, we can meet you. And again, whether you're a user or not, it's great for that. So, really, really cool opportunity. So I'm excited. And I also want, before we close out this really fun episode, I don't want to end here because I want to ask you both a lightning round of questions just to leave us staying inspired and ready to go sign up and get ready for this conference.
Can I add one more to the Las Vegas stuff? So I have actually been having some webinars too that will explain our events and everything like that. So if I send you over a link, can you put one of them in there of an upcoming one so people can see and hear exactly what's going on while we're there, what type of educational sessions are, what type of networking events are going on for it. And that would probably really help people to be understand. And we have a little video that goes along with it to show what's going on there. Because I think that seeing that 350 suppliers on a trade show floor in a video really shows you what you're going to be walking into because it's pretty crazy.
That's a good point. I feel like I'm just so used to the conferences at this point of like those large ones that I don't think much, but I do remember my first one like that size and it's like it's not daunting, it's not the right word because it's very fun and exciting, but it is a lot. And so yeah, but it's fun, and it's just so cool because you get to meet all the, different suppliers, like the cruises, the hotels, the tour operators, the software tools, like, literally everyone's there.
Mhm.
So it's so cool. So, yes, definitely, I will be sure to put that in the show notes for everyone.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so these questions that I've got for you all is, I think there's 5 of them. So, first one, what is one conference mistake advisors need to stop making?
I will say I kind of have two little, I'm cheating a little bit, but I think it's dress the part, be the person that you want to be, like put yourself out there. You don't have to come in a business suit, but maybe not your gym shorts and flip flops. You want to make a good impression and bring business cards. Just bring business cards, more business cards than you think you should bring.
Yes, attest to that as a supplier, please do, because there's so many times where we're moving too fast, and if you can hand us a card and we can make a note on it, game changer.
Well, I think that agents need to do that same thing, right? When they're taking your
Mhm.
business cards, making a note on it, writing down what they talk to you about. That's really helpful to have when you get home. So for me, it's get off your phone, put it away, be present and willing to learn.
I like it. Wonderful. Okay. So next question is, what is something one must do before attending any event?
I think you I think you've got to look at the schedule online to best strategize where you need to be and when. That's going to be the best thing to get you out of it. That's going to help for probably what Kelley's going to talk about next. But I think that is of the first thing you got to do.
I mean, if you've listened to anything I've said today, it's going to be set goals, right? That is so important. And I say it for a reason. Set goals and read emails that are sent to you. Sorry, that's 2. But read those emails that are sent to you. I can't tell you how often we send emails and people have apps, don't read them. Agents get mad at their clients when they don't read things. Read through your emails.
Perfect. That's a good one. I like that. Okay, so next one is what's the best networking tip that doesn't feel awkward?
So for me, I think it's that understanding that the suppliers are there because they want to talk to you. So you have to get out and speak to them, even if it's something that you don't want to do. Approach them and follow up when you get home because that's going to really make you stand out as an agent.
And I think as a socially awkward person myself, that just embrace the awkwardness. Sometimes sometimes it's not going to go as well as you think, and sometimes it's going to be a lot easier and smoother than you thought it was going to be. So just get over yourself, get in there, talk to some people, introduce yourself, and each time you do it, it's going to get easier.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that. So this might be kind of a hard question to answer, but what do you think is the most underrated part of conferences?
I think it's what happens between the sessions and in the hallways and in the bathroom and in the line for coffee. It's those little conversations where you connect on a different level than at a one-to-one meeting or at a trade show table. You know, those little moments kind of stack up and really make the event for most people most of the time. As long as you're putting yourself out there and doing all the things we've been saying, those little connections matter.
I mean, aside from like the 500 pens that you're going to come back with, the unexpected relationships that you make, right? So when you're there, you're making unexpected relationships. I never expected to go to an event and to become friends with another travel agent. Just in my mind, everybody at first was competition. That's not the case at all. So I think that when you're going to these events, understand that everybody's in here together and working together. And I think that the unexpected relationships that you make, and also those supplier ones too, and understanding how that supplier can help you later, right? You might think that you're talking to a supplier that you're never going to sell. And 3 weeks from now, someone could come to you and ask you for something. And then you remember, oh, I talked to so-and-so when I was at the travel agent forum or when I was at this event. And when you do that, that makes a huge difference. Email that person, tell them, hey, I just sold your product and see what happens for your client. Because I can tell you, I had a client that I had booking of sandals when I was at an event. I had just finished booking it. I come to the event. I was talking to the sandals rep and it was a honeymoon for them. And when I got home, they said, email me their name and everything. And I did that. And it really helped. You know, there was something small in their room when they got there. Things like that just happen. And it's so nice and it makes you look better as an agent. But I really think that people just don't understand that that's going to happen from a conference.
Love that. And I shouldn't be the one answering questions because it's for you guys, but I have to throw in one too that I think happens to me is those moments and energy of inspiration that just come naturally is so cool because you feel like, you know, when you go into one of those educational sessions, which that's one thing I really love about Travel Agent Forum, by the way, to all the listeners, is the educational sessions. They're different topics. And I sometimes will go into these. And I mean, I'm not an advisor, I'm on the supplier side, but it's crazy how many random aha moments or things that come up that I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. I should do something with that and like spin it. And it's just that happens a lot. And I think it's just because of the energy of what you're being in person. And I don't know. I just love that. I think you know you're coming, you're like, yeah, of course I'm gonna learn some things, but like no, you're really gonna like feel inspired to do something that you might not realize is about to happen. So that's really cool. So just how to throw that in.
Yeah. And that just made me think of something too, right? So like when you're saying like there's so many different education sessions, right? There are so many to choose from at the same time. So when you're ahead of time, when you're picking the sessions that you're going to attend, you're going to get emails and things like that telling you, hey, on this date, go in and pick your sessions, research them, read them, see which ones are going to help your business. You're going to have some that are geared towards marketing. Or like Stephanie said before, AI, different things are going on and you just want to make sure that it's going to help your business. But there are so many different options that are happening all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there really is. And that's what's so cool about that. I love it. Love educational sessions. They are my fave. But one final question here for you is in one sentence, are conferences worth it?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
If you want to grow your business, yes.
Nice. It's kind of a trick question. You know, we just had to end it solid. Listeners, you need to come or find one that works for you because they are worth it. And Kelley and Stephanie, I just have to say thank you so much to you both for sharing this practical insight on how advisors can make smarter conference decisions. And to everyone listening, if this episode helped you think more strategically about your event calendar, share it with another advisor and be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode of the lounge. And if you'll be at Travel Agent Forum in Las Vegas, come see us at Travefy Live. We'd love to connect. And again, I'll leave those links and everything else we talked about in the show notes. You can get more information, register, all that good stuff. And thank you so much to you both. And thank you all for spending time with us in the lounge by Travefy. And we'll all catch you on that next flight. And that next flight, hopefully, is to Vegas, where we all get to hang out with each other. So maybe we'll see you guys there.